It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Good morning. Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining us. Of course, today and building up to Mother's Day, we are celebrating those incredible motherly figures who have done so much in our lives. And we're going to hone in right now on one relationship that I think most South Africans hold very dear. Behind every great athlete is a great support system. And when it comes to 400-meter world record holder Wayde for Niekerk, that is no different. A runner in her own right. Back in the day, Odessa Swarts, Wayde's mom, has been with him every step of the way through a career that has, I think, lit up the world stage and also gone through some very tough challenges, of course, centered around injury. And Odessa is calling us right now from Bloemfontein this morning to chat about her relationship with her incredible son and how she's helped him throughout his career and also managed to stay true to her calling. Odessa, good morning. How are you, my dear?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
An absolute pleasure to connect with you. I'll probably say this every time I see you, but thank you for giving us Wayde. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey that we've all had a hand in, or at least it feels like that. I've got to ask you first off the bat, how is our boy? How is Wayde doing at this stage of what has been a very challenging latest chapter in his journey? How are the two of you?
He's doing very well. I just got back from America in March. I spent about 6 months with them, and he's doing good. He's looking good, and God's really been good to him. And he's positive, and I think he's hungry to race again. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen this year.
I always call this the championship rounds, where you start to find out what you're really capable of. And we've seen throughout history, athletes who can make it back are often capable of so much more because of that mental strength. But I've got to take you back to those first few steps, because I know you were a runner yourself. When you discovered that talent within Wayde, when you saw that spark, how did you first approach that? What was that spark for you, and why have you poured so much into his running? Obviously, the talent is there, but there has to be something else at play.
The problem with Wayde was he loved every sport, and if he could, he would play every sport out there. But at the age of about 6, 7, we could really see that he had that talent. But at the same time, he loved rugby as well. And because I love sport in general, I never wanted to limit him. So we've always given him the opportunity to do everything. So while he was shining on the track at that age, he was also doing extremely well at rugby. So with me, I'm just one of those parents that believes in allowing my kids to do whatever sport they want to do. When the time is right, they'll make that decision and know this is really the direction I want to go in, and this is what I really want to focus on. And that was mostly my goal as a parent, just to support whatever choices they make.
And drive that passion and enjoyment, especially when you're training as hard as you guys have been throughout that journey. We fast forward to that moment 7 years ago. It's hard to even to wrap my head around that, but when Wayde broke that 400-meter world record at the Olympics, can you still tap into that feeling with the amount of work that you guys have put in, the focus, the sacrifices? What kind of emotions get evoked in a moment like that?
That will always be one of the most special moments in my life. And the honor and the blessing that I could physically be there and experience that race. The fact that you could actually feel the Holy Spirit in that whole race while it was happening, it will be a memory that I will remember for the rest of my life. And that is something that I think I've always held on to, and I will always hold on to, that if God has done it for him then, God is definitely going to do better for him now in the future. And I think everyone that's been there on that day was standing in awe when we saw that it was a world record, because over the last 50 meters, it was like he was just excelling and excelling and excelling. And it was such a big honor for me to just stand there and experience this whole thing. And at the time when he crossed the finish line, I was still standing with his coach, and no one wanted to allow me to the front after that, because the whole family really standing in the front. And I remember him asking my husband, but where's mommy? Why is she not here with And then my husband turned around and he said, she's somewhere at the back. And people then realized that they're referring to me. And they started shoving me to the front. And at that time, everyone was saying, look, it's a world record, it's a world record, it's a world record. And it's like, just that pride, I could never ever explain the pride. A mother out in the world will know exactly what I'm talking about. Even if their child takes their first step, it's a special and a proud moment. And it's just, it's something I will never be able to explain to anyone. It's just one of those special moments of my life.
It really is, and I think for many, they would say it's a once in a lifetime, but I have a feeling Wayde isn't done yet. What have you said to him? What has been the narrative of your conversation over the last couple of years? How has he got his mind back into the game in this way? And what support have you offered him through this phase of what must be probably the most challenging part of the journey?
The biggest support I could give him, and that I'm still giving him, is in prayer. He's gone through a difficult time physically, spiritually, and mentally. And as a family, we don't remind him of it anymore. We don't even talk about the injury. We don't even refer to the injury because it was a mental struggle that he had to deal with, and he's overcome that, and only you could overcome that. The only thing we could do as a family was pray for him, have our friends and family intercede for him, and that was all that we could do. That was all the support we could do, and that's why it was so important for me to go over to America and just assist with a little one so that his wife and him can also just have a bit of that extra help. So that he could also have the opportunity to rest and to go back onto the track the next morning and train as hard as he could in order for him to come back. And to me, that was an honor that I could support them in that way, that I could be there for them. And if I had the opportunity, I'll do it again. Because God's plan for us is much bigger than ours, and I know God has a reason and a purpose why he was injured, because I trust and believe he's going to come back faster, better, stronger within this next couple of seasons.
We believe it. And I mean, we've got a few athletes in the mix here, and they are scratching their heads, just amazed at what could be coming from this incredible man, from this amazing family. Clearly, you guys have got your hearts, minds, and spirits in the right place with this one, which is an amazing example to set for all the moms out there, for all the young athletes out there, anyone facing a challenge. You guys are doing so well. Thank you so much for opening up a window into your amazing journey with us this morning. Odessa, we love you. In advance, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Incredible. A little bit of the magic behind Wayde for Niekerk. Moms, we owe you everything.